Hi everyone, and welcome to Philadelphia, the largest city in the U.S. state of Pennsylvania, and a city that is just full of history. Now I know we normally only discuss public transportation on this channel, but can we make an exception for this awesome moving truck? Don't worry if your stuff is large or heavy, they like them big, they like them chunky. If you love train travel, hit that subscribe button. We upload at least once a week, and this way you won't miss any of our content. You can also join our community on Patreon. Your support gives you access to cool features such as early video releases. And finally, follow us on our social media, Instagram and TikTok. We spent our day in Philadelphia touring not only some of the historic neighborhoods, but also a lot of the amazing thrift shops that the city has to offer. Having thrifted to our heart's content, we found ourselves in the area of Ellsworth Street. And so, to save ourselves some energy for the rest of the day, we decided to head back into Center City by taking the Broad Street Subway. Yes. This is very steep. The Broad Street Line has been open since 1928. Now, the stations on the line, just like the rest of the Philadelphia subway, are kind of old, gross, and they could seriously use some renovations. Yes. A fare of $2.50 is pretty normal for a U.S. subway system. I'm actually pretty proud of myself that I managed to get that in one swipe. I always fail miserably with the Metro cards in New York. Here's a map with all the stopping patterns on the Broad Street line. Just remember that for a second, and when our train arrives, I will explain those in more detail. Now, you might not have noticed them because they were lit up white, but all the trains on the Broad Street subway have 10 of these small lights on the top of their front. The lights correspond with the line's stopping pattern. Aside from a local service, there are weekday express services between Fern Rock and Walnut Locust. There are special services, and there's a branch line, and the lights on top of the train correspond with the stopping pattern of that train. So like these yellow lights mean that they're going to go on the branch line, these green lights mean that the train will be running express, and these white lights indicate a local service like the one we're on today. The red lights just mean that that's the back of the train.
For route 40.
One thing I like about the Philadelphia subway is that the color coding is very consistent, even with the interior and exterior of the trains.
Doors are closing. Doors are closing. Market-Frankford Line and trolley routes 10, 11, 13, 34, and 36.
Now, some trains have these scrolling destination indicators. Most trains have these LED signs, and some even have full-color LEDs, which are my personal favorite. Not the Broad Street subway though. Broad Street trains are fitted with these both inside and outside the train. They are 12 panels with light bulbs behind, and depending on the service, origin point, and destination, a different light bulb lights up. So let's take an express train from Fern Rock to Walnut. The sign will look like this. If we have a local train from NRG to Fern Rock, the sign will look like this. And a branch line train will have these light bulbs light up to have the sign look like this. It's definitely very old-fashioned, but I've never seen this anywhere else before. We've arrived at City Hall Station, which offers a transfer to both the Market-Frankford Line and the Subway-Surface Trolleys, both of which we'll be riding in our video on Wednesday. Now, everything about the Broad Street subway feels very old. The trains we were on are 40 years old, but there's no plan of replacing them anytime soon. So if you want to see the unique destination indicators and other features of the Broad Street subway, you can still come to Philadelphia and see them. City Hall Station is right underneath the historic City Hall, the famous Love sign, and SEPTA Regional Rail's Suburban Station. Thank you so much for watching this video today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Trains Are Awesome. We're going to continue our trip down the Northeast Corridor, and we'd love to have you join us. See you next time.